The how is not your job in manifestation. Hi, I'm Dan. I talk about manifestation, conscious creation, intentional living. And today I really want to focus on this topic of the how. How is it going to happen? How long is it going to take? Your job is done when you have embodied the new state. When you have taken on the new identity. Remember, manifestation is all about letting go of the old identity and embracing the new identity, embodying the new identity. All right? Once you've chosen it. So you have to understand that the how is not your job. Your job is done. All creation is finished. You're simply selecting out of an infinite number of possibilities a reality that you wish to experience, your desire in, right? Or generally just your dream life. So you need to understand that once it's done, you let it go. It's up to the universe. The universe is the one that orchestrates everything. Oftentimes behind the scenes, so we don't even know, we don't even see what's happening and going on, and we're pleasantly surprised by it. You don't need to worry about it. All right, so stop worrying about the how. Stop looking at the 3D to see if there's movement. Stop looking for evidence in the 3D. You need to focus on what matters, which is you embodying the state. And once that's done, and you continue to live as that, you don't look for evidence. You don't look for movement. You don't try to manipulate it. You don't try to force action. You're going to be naturally guided as your new identity. You're going to be naturally guided to do things that feel inspired to you. Very quick note on inspired action. You have to be careful because if you are in the old identity, you might feel inspired to do action. And yes, it is inspired, but it's coming from your old identity. So you need to be careful that you are always embodying the new identity as much as possible. I just made a video on consistency, right? You have to be consistent when you're embodying the new identity, the version of you that already has your manifestation. Because once you've done that, your job is done. So stop worrying about how it's going to happen. Our minds are very logical brains. They can only see a very limited number of ways that can get us from point A, don't have the manifestation, to point B, has the manifestation. As we know, manifestation is not about going from point A to point B, traveling through the matrix. Can it logically happen in that way in our 3D reality that makes sense to us? Yes. But our job, what is actually happening here is we are simply selecting, hey, I'm at point A right now. I'm going to pick point B is where I want to be. That's who I want to be. I simply jump over there. I'm selecting that. I'm going to embody that right now. I'm going to live as that. My job is now done. How I actually get there in the 3D reality is not my business. This matrix that we're living in, that's going to shift and change and conform, and things are going to happen. This is why we see synchronicities, angel numbers, signs, whatever it may be, that's shown us that we've identity shifted, right? Wonderful, amazing, incredible. But we don't need to worry about how it's going to happen, especially when we start seeing movement, right? We start seeing movement and then people will, wait, how is this linked to my manifestation? Not your job. It's still not your job. Your job is to stay in the end and live in the end. That state, live in the state where your wish is fulfilled already. And when you continue to embody and live in that state consistently, it's going to come in so naturally. Most of the manifestations that I've gotten, that I've experienced and also talked to other people, it's naturally come about in the most beautiful way. You know what's the craziest thing? I was just looking. So if you don't know, I have something called an identity board. If most people call it a vision board, but I like to call it an identity board. And it's on my laptop. And essentially it has all these images and pictures and words of the feelings that I want to embrace, the things I want to manifest, all those things, right? And it's so interesting to see how, over time, I just took a look at this the other day. I mean, I always have it open, but I just took a closer look at it. Over half of the things I put on this board have manifested, right? Have they all manifested? Not quite yet, but a lot of the things, it's almost uncanny. And it's so funny because I didn't worry about the how it's going to come in. I just kept living my life. I kept embodying the state. Am I perfect with it? No. And because I'm not perfect with it, that's probably why it isn't all come in quite yet. Because it's still a work in process for me. I'm never perfect. No one's perfect at anything. But you do the best that you can. But you do see movement. I see movement. That's why I know it works. And it's almost, I'm not even surprised that it's coming in. I'm more, it's more just surreal at this point, because I know it's already done, right? It's just a reminder to you. When anytime you feel a desire, it's just a reminder to you. It's just a reminder to you that it's already done. Creation's already finished. You don't worry about the how it's going to get here. That's not your job. Okay, so our logical brains, our minds can't figure out all that. It's just the limited number of pathways we can see. The universe is going to work. I mean, you can call it whatever. You can call it source, energy, universe, higher self, whatever it may be, right? God, right? If you believe in God, it doesn't matter, right? Energy, it will all shift and change and mold to bring you your desire, to bring you that experience that you're manifesting, that you're embodying. Remember, that's your job. So don't try to do someone else's job. Do your job. Your job is to embody the new identity. Embody the version of you that has your manifestation already, that has your desire. And that's all you need to do. How it comes in, not your job. So stop looking to 3D for evidence. Stop looking to 3D for movement. Circumstances, really, they honestly don't matter. Things can change on the fly. People have become rich overnight. Someone gets an inheritance out of nowhere, or they win a lottery raffle, or they have a free trip from a giveaway from work. There's so many different ways that just aren't, you wouldn't think that it would happen. You know what's the funny thing? You don't think that it would happen to you, but it's possible that it happens because you can see all around the world. Even the people that don't even talk about this thing, you can notice and see that it's just so. There are things that happen, like people have landed jobs that they shouldn't have landed. People have been able to survive health scares that doctors told them there was no way that this was going to happen, right? And people win lottery all the time. People win lotteries all the time. There's like a YouTube channel, very inspirational, of lottery winners. And the thing is, everything is possible. You just need to embody the new identity and state. But you have to stop worrying about the how, because whenever you worry about the how, what it's telling the universe is that, okay, you're worrying about how it's going to get here. If you already had the manifestation, if you already had the desire and experiencing it, you would not be worrying about the how because you've gotten it. You're already experiencing it. You would be having fun and enjoying the manifestation. You'd be thinking about it, you'd be acting it, you'd be reacting a completely different way. You would not be doing, you would not be worrying about how it's going to get here. It just makes no sense. It's not logical because it's already here. And I know that this might be frustrating for some of you to hear because like, well, but I can't see how it's going to come here. It doesn't matter. You don't have to see it because think back in your life. I'm sure everyone has had this. Think back in your life. There must be something that happened that was unexpected. Right? Unexpected. Probable, possible, but unexpected. It's just different degrees of possibility. Don't put a time frame on it either, because that's limiting. You don't know how quick it's going to come in. You don't know how long it's going to come. It works both ways. Sometimes you think that something is going to come in. Let's say you're getting a passport, right? And you expect it to be here in 6 weeks, right? Through mail. Sometimes it comes in 2 weeks. That's unexpected. Sometimes there's a delay. Comes in 8 weeks. The intended is 6 weeks, or even any kind of mail, right? What if there's a postal strike that comes up? Oh, now it's delayed. Normally that wouldn't happen. Normally that's not what you expect. But that's part of the how. You can't control that. The universe is in charge of that. You, with your limited mind, should not be worrying about that thing, cannot be worried about that thing because there's too many different possibilities that exist. So there's no way you can think of every single avenue that this is going to work. So there's no point in even trying to piece it together. What you can do is you can take a little bit of action towards it that seems logical just to satisfy the mind and brain to be like, okay, now I've taken a little bit of action because I have this deep-rooted belief that I need to do something in order to make my manifestation happen, right? Fine. If that's you, satisfy your mind by doing something that's remotely related to your manifestation. But don't think that that action you take is going to be linked to ultimately you receiving that manifestation, all right? If you're trying to manifest a house, yes, maybe go look up, real estate agents or go look up places. That makes That also makes sense to do. I'm not saying don't take any action at all, but it doesn't mean that the real estate agent that you're researching online, you're going to find your real estate agent from there. It's just, telling yourself, training your brain and mind, just satisfying the idea that like, hey, I need to do a little bit of something to get the ball rolling. And then maybe you get a referral from one of your friends that just sold their house and they're super happy with it. And so you get a referral from them and you find your real estate agent through that and not through your online Google searches. Right? Don't worry about the how. It's going to come in. Okay? So if you do need to feel like you need to do a little bit just to kind of satisfy that part of your brain, fine, do it. But ultimately, I want you to understand that the how is not your job. So to summarize this all out, don't worry about the how. Embody the new identity, embody that new state. Your job is done. At that point, you just have to live your life and trust it's all going to work out. And it's all coming in. And you have to be consistent with embodying that. Don't worry about the how. And just live your life. All right? I hope this helps. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, especially topics you want me to talk about with manifesting. And see it as a free resource right now for me to answer your questions. I do check there from time to time when I do have time. And I love to help whoever I can. All right? I'll see y'all soon.